The right opportunity, the right moment is never going to come. It's so easy to become paralyzed by starting from nothing, losing yourself in the planning phase of it all. I remember when I first started posting on TikTok, I had no idea what I was doing. I had 0 followers. I didn't have any fancy equipment, and I definitely did not have a viral video right off the bat. But I made a commitment to myself. I was gonna post 100 videos every day. I would create, post, and that's exactly what I did. I made 7 videos every week and posted 1 every day for 3 months. I had no traction. I wanted to give up. I doubted myself. I looked at other content creators who seemed like they figured out the magic formula. They got millions of views, likes, and comments, and I felt like nothing in comparison. But I reminded myself, let me just commit to this goal of what I've told myself and do it irrespective of the results. For that time, my videos barely got any views, and it was disheartening at times, putting in all of that effort and not seeing immediate results. But I knew that the only way I would get better was to keep creating. And then after those 3 months of consistent effort, something amazing happened. One of my videos went viral. I was gaining thousands of followers a day, and my videos were getting shared all over TikTok. I remember getting recognized at the airport, and that was a surreal experience. It taught me a valuable lesson that success often comes from consistent small actions over time. It's never about that one perfect video or that one big breakthrough, just about showing up even when it feels like you're not making progress. That experience really hammered home for me the importance of starting small when you've set yourself a really big goal. It's easy just to get intimidated by the scope of it all. We think we need to have everything figured out, every step planned, every piece of fancy equipment before we can even start. Look at others who are successful in what we're trying to do, and we think we need to be at their level right from the start, which is crazy to think about. But the truth is, you'll never feel 100% ready. There will always be something else you could do better, some way you could have been more prepared. If you keep waiting for that perfect moment, you'll be waiting forever. And the most important thing I just always have to remember is start, even with the smallest, most manageable step that you can think of. The beautiful thing is, even when you start small, those little actions build so much momentum, and that momentum fuels every next step that you take. And before you know it, those bricks that you lay will be like a whole house. And you'll look back and you'll even think about like how that was possible or how that even happened. You just put one foot in front of the other and did it without looking at the bigger picture, until by the time that you took a step back, you literally just stand there in awe. How it's like running a marathon. You know, you don't run 26.2 miles to prepare for a marathon. You start with, a jog around the block, and then that jog around the block becomes, a 5K, and then that 5K becomes a, 10K, and eventually that 10K, becomes that marathon that you've always dreamed of doing. I think about the goals that people have, and think about how sometimes we can scare ourselves when we think about what steps we need to take to get there. A step feels too big. Maybe you haven't broken it down into something more manageable, something that you can consistently do over time. And of course, starting small is only one part of the equation. The other key ingredients, I would say, is consistency. It's not enough to just start. You have to keep going, even when it feels like you're not making progress, even when you're not seeing the results you want right away. This is something that I struggled with on that journey on TikTok. I mean, posting 100 videos in 3 months was not easy. There were so many times when I just wanted to give up, doubted myself and my content. I would have days where I just didn't feel like creating. I wanted to take a break, come back to it later. I kept making myself excuses not to do the work. I knew that if I let myself skip a day, it would be that much harder to start again. I kept reminding myself, just try and show up every day. That's what I want to encourage you to do. When you're working towards a goal, whether it's a personal project, something you're doing for your job, or something creative, show up consistently. Even if it's just for a few minutes a day. You're not going to be making your best work every time, but the act of showing up, putting in that effort regularly is what will get you to where you want to go. It's kind of like building a muscle. If you want to get stronger, you can't just lift weights once in a while and expect to see results. You have to be consistent in your training and put in that work day after day, week after week. And over time, those small efforts compound and you start to see real progress. The same is true of any skill or project. Consistent effort, even in small doses, is what leads to mastery and success. You just have to be undeniable and persistent. Another lesson I've learned in all of this is just embracing imperfect action. When we're starting something new, it's so easy to get caught up in wanting to be perfect right from the start. We compare ourselves to others who are further along in their journey than us, and we constantly just feel like we're falling short, afraid to put our work out there because we know it's not as good as it could be. But the truth is, everyone starts somewhere. No one makes their masterpiece on the first try. And even all the people that you admire, the ones who seem to have it all figured out, trust me, they've put in the hours, the days, the years of imperfect work to get where they are. I think about some of my first videos on TikTok and I kind of cringe a little bit. They were awkward, unpolished, and just cringeworthy. They were so necessary. They were the stepping stones to help me really find my voice and work on my craft. If I didn't do those first videos, I never would have started at all. And so when you're just starting out, don't aim for perfection, just aim for progress and be willing to create things that are messy, that you're going to be embarrassed of, that are so far from that dream that you've developed in your head of what you want to create. Every mistake has always been a lesson in everything I've done, and no matter how wrong things went, I always learned something that made me better for it. And there's this quote from Ira Glass, which I love, which is, "Nobody tells this to beginners, but I wish someone told me." All of us who do creative work get into it because we have good taste, but there's this gap. For the first couple of years, you make stuff just not that good. It's trying to be good, it has potential, but it's not. The thing is though, your taste is what got you into the game, and that is still killer in itself. Your taste is why your work disappoints you. A lot of people never get past this phase. They quit. Most people I know who do interesting, creative work went through years of this. We know our work doesn't have this special thing we want it to have. We all go through this. And if you are just starting out or you are still in this phase, you gotta know it's normal. And the most important thing you can do is a lot of work. Put yourself on a deadline so that every week you'll finish one story. And it's only by going through a volume of work that you'll close that gap and your work will be as good as your ambitions. And I took longer to figure out how to do this than anyone I've ever met. It's gonna take a while. It's normal to take a while. You just gotta fight your way through. I love that quote by Ira Glass. And so as you start to build momentum, don't forget to celebrate your small wins. It's easy to get so focused on the end goal that we forget to acknowledge the process. But every step forward is worth celebrating, no matter how small it may seem. When I was posting those 100 TikTok videos, I made a point to celebrate each milestone. Every 10 videos, every 50 videos, would take a moment to appreciate how far I had come. I would even treat myself with a little reward from time to time, like getting a gelato cone at a shop outside my office, or even a massage whenever I hit 50 videos. And as I reflect on what I've learned and what I've been through, I celebrate it all. And I realized that all of those small milestones along the way have all been a culmination of small wins. Never was just about that one successful video. It was about the 99 that came before it. Each one is a small win in its own right. And so as you're working towards your goals, take time to appreciate your progress. Celebrate the small wins, the daily efforts, and just recognize that each one is a step in the right direction, a piece of the larger puzzle that you're putting together in this game called life. Don't be afraid to share that win with others. Tell your friends, tell your family, because the real ones that support you will be there to cheer you on the whole way. I encourage you to surround yourself with people who are proud of you for putting yourself out there, which is something incredible to do that people can go their whole life without ever doing and regret it. So there's one thing I want you to take away from this video. It's that all you need to do is just start.